5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble. And it goes from now until, let's see here, midnight tonight. Let me turn on the air light. That says that we're definitely on the air. See the sign back there? Okay. And every now and then, we like to check in with an ex-wife. Ladies and gentlemen, look at her. Her hair's growing even more. Jeez, it's very becoming now.
Julius Caesar here in front.
Yeah, this is Ronnie Bennett. This is an ex. If the name is familiar, it's because she's my ex-wife. How many years since you were my ex-wife? Let's see. Is it
71, whatever that is.
71. Was that when you left, or was that when we got the divorce?
That's when I left.
Oh, okay. So the divorce was about 6 years after that.
A long time. You wouldn't sign the papers.
I don't know. I wouldn't sign the papers?
That's right.
Well,
I mean, I was in no rush to marry somebody else, so it didn't get in my way too much. But every time my lawyer sent you something, nothing ever happened. You never responded.
Can I tell you a funny story about how my ego got to me in that situation? So I'm walking into WPLJ, which was down on 6th Avenue, and I don't know, was it 53rd, something like that.
Right.
And I'm walking up the steps to go to work for my 2:00 in the morning show. So I mean, it was pretty late. And a guy comes up to me and he goes, "Are you Alex Bennett?" And I went, "Yeah." And he said, "I am such a fan of yours." And he put his hand out to shake hands with me. And I shook hands with him. And he had a piece of paper in his hand. And when he removed it, I had the piece of paper, and he said, "You've been served." And it was.
I love it. That's great. I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
Well, here's one that you may or may not remember.
Yeah.
We went to New York
Mm-hmm.
And started the talk show, and it was a WMCA
And
then.
she was my producer, by the way. Yeah.
Yes, and it was at WMCA then. Do you remember who our first guest was?
I would say it was. I'm going to bet, okay, that it was Michael Donahue.
No.
Paul Krasner.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, after the show, we three went for, it was whatever time the show was on. It was late at night, like midnight when we got out of the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down to the Village, which you and I didn't know much about New York yet then, and went for a middle-of-the-night breakfast, as was done there at the David's Potbelly was the restaurant.
Let's say that at this time I also did a Saturday.
I'm telling a story.
No, but I'm trying to, because I just said I went on at 2:00 in the morning, and that was at WPLJ. This was at WMCA. Yes. Okay.
My timing's all gone.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I will shut up.
So we go to David's Pot Ballet. You and I had never been there before. And by the way, it only recently closed a few years ago.
Really?
It was there forever and ever and ever. And it had been there forever when we went there in 1969, was it, when we got to New York? 68?
Yeah,
something like that. So we're having our breakfast. I remember being the provincial me. I had never seen anything such as a peanut butter omelet on the menu, things like that.
Right.
And we just chattered. And the more we talked with each other, the more that I found that Krasner and I knew a lot of people in common. And I finally said something about it. I said, I'm amazed that we have all these people in common and never met before today. And he said to me, I later found out that this was a common phrase in such situations, but I didn't know it. It was brand new to me then. And he said, but Ronnie, don't you know there are really only 500 people in the world, and sooner or later we'll all know each other? And of course, this came up because Paul Krasner died this week.
Yeah, yeah.
And
he was
it just seemed,
he was 87.
yeah, I mean, and that's fine. I mean, that's good to live that long. But it's, we're at that time of life when, whether it's good friends or people we've known in passing here and there as work or whatever, more and more of us are shuffling off this mortal coil, as it were. And it just, the kind of the even though I guess it was about 8 or 10 years since I last spoke to Paul, there are people that are, lots and lots of people who are on the periphery of our lives, as opposed to really close, or the people we speak to really often. And more of those are falling away, and it changes the atmosphere of your being in a certain way.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny too. I mean, I've lost a lot of people recently, and I'm losing more and more people as I grow older. More and more people I've known wind up dying. And I lost a friend, this guy ran the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, Dennis Hoff, about a year ago. And he died, and he was like only in, 62, 63, something like that.
Yeah,
so
there's no, I don't make those distinctions. We die when we die.
I only make the distinction, Ronnie, because sometimes they're younger and sometimes they're older. I mean, when Paul died at 87, you got to go, okay, he was 87. But when somebody dies younger and you know them, you go, hey, he was supposed to be around after I was gone.
Well, and you can dwell on that or you can get on with everything. I'm just talking about whatever their age is.
Yeah.
Those people that aren't everyday people in your life, but they're fairly regularly. It sort of makes little holes in your little world,
Yeah.
And the holes keep getting bigger.
Well,
and bigger.
About people that we know and that we lose contact with. I mean, I wrote a thing on my Facebook page that said my only regret is that I hadn't talked to Paul recently. I think we stopped talking to each other maybe 20, 25 years ago because the distance between us grew. In other words, he was living somewhere and I was moving somewhere. And when I lived in New York, Paul was a common factor, because we lived here and we knew the same people and we did the same things. And then as years went on, I still knew Paul. In fact, when I was in San Francisco, he came to me and he wanted, I think it was $5,000 to save the realist. So I shelled out $5,000 to save the realist. So, I mean, we were close enough that he could come to me and hit me up for $5,000. And then he paid me back. And I think I may have talked to him on one or two occasions after that, but over the years we weren't talking. It wasn't that we were mad at each other or whatever, you stopped communicating. And I'm not the most sociable person anyway, so I don't reach out as easily as other people do. But I just felt bad about it because I always liked Paul. Paul was a terrific guy,
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
It was very, very sad. But, we lose them all, and I've discovered that the good thing about old age is that you got older, and the bad thing about old age is you lose people, you suddenly become prone to diseases you never thought you were going to get. I'm told with like prostate cancer, you live long enough, you're going to have it. At 90 years of age, the chances you're going to have prostate cancer are 100%. Okay, so there's always something out there trying to get you, and quite frankly, even with your maladies, the fact of the matter is you've lived beyond your life expectancy,
By about a year, but nobody. Those are always averages. They aren't set in stone because they're averages. And I don't know the man, but I know of one man with my kind of cancer, pancreatic, who's around, I think it must be 7, 8 years now. Barely anybody makes it past the 5-year standard that the medical profession uses on cancer survival. Mm-hmm. and so he's doing fine. But so it's different for every person. Those are only averages, and I'm having a little bit of a hard time now I have a new mystery malady nobody has figured out yet, and it's really irritating.
Yeah.
So, we're working on that. Plus, day before yesterday, do these things drive you crazy? I'm working here at the desk, I'm typing away, writing a blog post or some email or something, and I hear click, 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 and the keyboard stops working. Well, what in the world does that mean? So this is like 1 p.m. or something.
Now, do you have a desktop or do you have a laptop that you use?
No, it's a desktop, and I have a great big monitor.
Okay, because, yeah.
And it's a Bluetooth keyboard.
Right.
And so, I tried to do different things, and nothing would happen. And for some reason, in a cupboard, I have 4 or 5 keyboards. I don't know why. I don't know which ones.
You never throw them away. Yeah.
I don't know which ones may be broken or which ones don't work or whatever. So they're supposed to be universal these days, but they might be pretty old in that cupboard. So I hauled them all out, and of course, because they're Bluetooth, they all have batteries. And I figure they've been in the cupboard for several years. I better replace the batteries before I start testing them. And that didn't help a lot. But at any rate, it took me 5 hours to fix my keyboard. Boy, does that irritate me.
Yeah.
It just made me crazy.
At
least I can do little things like that, though. I mean, because you're talking 200 or more techie bill if I had to call somebody.
When I was working in television, they always preferred to wire me up with a microphone that was wired rather than wireless, just because there were too many problems with interference from signals and so on and so forth.
That's a long time ago. That's no longer a problem.
Well, but I mean, the point is that I'm still a very big advocate of hardwire. That I have a Bluetooth keyboard here, but it every now and then.
But it wasn't the Bluetooth that was wrong with it.
Well, what was wrong with yours that you had to put in 5 different keyboards?
Know, something inside it stopped working, and I found another one fine. I will not put you through the agony of all I had to do. Just get onto online or anything to ask questions.
Do you ever find yourself
laptop to get online? What?
Do you ever find yourself saying life's too short for this?
Well, it's not so much that it's too short, is that it's gotten too complicated for me. A light switch either turns the light on or it doesn't. There are only 2, maybe 3 possible solutions. The light bulb is burned out. That's the easy one. Something is wrong with the circuitry inside the wall. And I can't think of a third one right now. But there's not too much you have to check.
Right.
But when a keyboard just puts its feet up in the air and says, I'm not doing this anymore, you don't know where to start. There are too many things that could cause it. When I was getting ready for this chat, I pulled up the Skype thing, and I was just checking settings, and I've got no video feed. It's just black, just nothing. And now what? So I go and ask the question online, why is my Skype screen black? And you can ask things that way these days.
Yeah, of course.
Reasonable answers. And, oh my God, the first 2 or 3 that looked legitimate had lists this long about all the things you had to do and change in the background. It can't possibly be that hard. And then I realized I had left open my browser and 2 or 3 other things. So I closed everything down. I went back to Skype, and there I was, all shining and bright and smiling.
Yeah. Well,
so that one wasn't too difficult. But, you're right. Life is too short. And also, more than that, it's really irritating techie stuff.
Yeah. Well,
and especially when you know perfectly well that some really good techie could have walked into my house and done that for about 4 seconds, and everything would be fine.
There are a lot of your blog, which is timegoesby.net, deals with aging. And we would like to think that, aging is a wonderful time of life when you can retire and you can do this and you can do that. But actually, there are so many things that start happening. And the thing that I have noticed, because I've always been into technology, you know that, and I pretty much understand technology. But now I get a new device and I can't even figure out how to make it work. Because
first of all, for as long as there have been home computers, there have been problems with the manuals that help you. They're all written in some other language and translated, so it makes no sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm getting a little thing that's going to switch video tactically, because I'm finding that I'm having problems with the program that I'm using, and I go online to see how you hook it up, and I'm befuddled. I just I used to be able to almost intuitively not even have to go to a manual. I could just intuitively make something work. But I can't do that. I can't do that anymore, and it makes me feel fucking old. That's my problem.
Oh, but young people don't know either on a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that it's poorly done. They don't put much effort into making sure we understand. And when they do write out something, it's in technical ease, if there's such a word, in their language, and they forget that there are all kinds of techie shortcuts in terms of words and verbiage that you and I don't understand, but they do.
Let me ask you a metaphysical situation. Okay, so I'm watching these documentaries on the planets that the BBC did. Right. And they go, and Mars, 2.4 billion years ago, blah, 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 blah. And they throw off 2.4 billion like, this is 2.4. And I'm thinking, 2.4 billion. Let's see, how much of my life is that 2.4 billion? And then I suddenly say to myself, I'm fucking insignificant.
Yes.
I'm not even the size of a grain of sand in 4.5 billion. All right?
But don't ever forget Neil deGrasse Tyson, who said it so beautifully, and it happens to be true, not just a metaphor. It's we are all made of stardust. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, that's really lovely, but that doesn't make me cope with death any better, or mortality any better. What, am I going to go back? I'm going to be stardust floating around? Or what?
No, there's no point in pondering the afterlife since no one knows.
But think of my little 79 years compared to 4.5 billion.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, and then I'm walking down the street the other day going to a dental appointment, and I look into one of these eatery places, where people are sitting around getting lunch and so on, and I look in there and I go, everybody in this restaurant, at least within 75 years, is going to be dead. And I'm thinking, why do we make such a big deal about all the things that we fight over, and why do certain people feel compelled to make other people's lives miserable when we have such a short amount of time in comparison to the history of the universe?
That's a lovely thought.
To kind of enjoy ourselves. Why are there Hitlers? Why are there Trumps? Not that I want to compare the two, because, Hitler did serve in the military.
Alex, that's
and I go, why do we play all these games, and why do we fight in Congress over it's also insignificant. Can't we just put ourselves in the context of 4.5 billion years, and that we have such a short time here on this planet to do something good, Am I being too Pollyanna?
No. I don't think so. I suppose that's an age-old question. If I knew enough of ancient philosophy, I'll bet one of them asked that question too.
Yeah. But I mean, people who were here 100 years ago are no longer here. The whole planet has, for the most part, been wiped away, and a whole new population has been swept in. And
But it happens one person at a time.
it happens one
it's not
person at a
like-
time, so we don't notice it, but it does happen that way. And the people who are going to be running this planet 100 years from now are not the people who are here now. And I hope that maybe they're wiser than we were, is what I'm thinking. I doubt it. I think it's only going to get worse. But
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, go. What?
It gets closer as my time goes by with this disease, and nobody knows how long I'll be okay. But as I get, every day that goes by is getting closer and closer to my end, however long it may be. I don't ask those kinds of questions anymore. I more and more sit here in right now. I'm looking at a picture of the guy I used to be married to, and we're talking about stuff I'm not so sure why anybody watches this. It seems to me that this is just, sitting around shooting the breeze. But, and I've got some things I want to do later today when we're done. And I've got things over the weekend. I mean, and I don't get much further than that anymore. It's all trying to just sit here and be now.
Yeah.
That's, or whoever's at the other end of the phone or whatever's going on. And it's, does it happen to you? It's been very, very rare in my life. And I think they used to call it flow. But particularly when I'm writing a blog post and I've got all of my facts that I need written down next to me and scribbles on a notepad of things I want to be sure to include.
What? Oh, well. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. What did that? I was just simply using my, oh, damn it. Well, hello everybody. How are you? Good to see you. I'm sorry that we didn't get the whole interview on again. You know what I've got to do? I'm going to work on something when we're not on the air. It seems as though I was using this, and I guess I tried, I see what it was. Okay. In order for me to show you that whole interview, I would have to go back and start from the beginning. And there's a certain thing that I don't do that I really should do. And let me just test it here while we're talking, okay? Okay, so I go here. Ladies and gentlemen, look at her. Her hair's growing even more. Jeez, it's very becoming now. And then if I stop
Julius Caesar here in front.
Yeah, this is Ronnie Bennett.
If I
This
go
is
back,
an act. It still does away with
she's
it.
my
Well,
ex-wife.
What the hell? How many years since you were my ex-wife? Let's see. Let me.
Was it 71, whatever that is.
71. Was that when you? Okay, I don't know. It's ridiculous. But anyway, you heard most of the interview. It was about 2 minutes short. If you want to see the full interview, just go over to YouTube and go over to where you see all my stuff, which is at, let me see here. Oh, boy. You go to YouTube and then look up Alex Bennett, I guess. That's the best way to do it. And there will be Ronnie Bennett listed there as the interview, and the full interview is there. Okay? So, I don't know how to tell you more than that, Geez, that fucks me up. That pisses me off. That fuck me. Just really, I've got to figure out how to keep this thing from doing that. And I think I know how I'm going to do that, is I'm going to do away with, see, I have this little thing where I can push one button here, and it does that. But I don't need that anymore because I have a button that I can just push and an interview will start like that. Ladies and gentlemen, look at her. Her hair's growing even more. Jeez. And then
it's very
if I want to
becoming
stop
now.
it,
Julius,
I can just stop it. Okay. But then if I hit the button again, but I have a button here and I can push it, and if I'll make this so it never happens again. Okay. I am so pissed about that. I'm sorry. The rest of the interview had a little bit more, nothing much, and I'm sorry that happened. I really am, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen again, because in fact, right now. Well, I know what I'm going to do here. Hold on a second. Settings, and I go to hotkeys. And then I'm going to turn that hotkey off, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see here, what can I do to make it, this is what I'll do. Let me see here, will this do it? No? Let me see here, okay. Plus, okay. Minus fade. Okay, so what do I want to push? What? See, I have to figure out a button here that I will never ever use. Okay, let me try that. There we go. Okay, so now if I push, gee, now I forgot which button it was. Here we go. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at her.
So that's how I'll do it. Then it won't. Then it won't do it, I don't think. But anyway. Oh, hell. I'm just, I'm amazed. Let me see here. Let me start up the, where is it? God, I can't do anything anymore. I feel so bad about that because I love that interview with Ronnie. Anyway, just go to my YouTube page. Just look up Alex Bennett. Just put in Alex Bennett. I think that'll get you to it. Let me see here. Let me see. If I do YouTube, okay, and I just hit YouTube, and then I go to YouTube, and then I put in under search, I put in Alex Bennett. Okay. There we go, and then you click on the Alex Bennett page there, and we have there's an interview there with Ronnie Bennett. Okay, that's how you get to it. Okay, I'm starting to give up on all of this. This is getting to be ridiculous. Anyway, I've turned on the. God help me, you know. This shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. Now let me see here. I've activated my. Nobody's going to call because there's the debate's going on. You know, I'm going to rerun that interview later this week with Ronnie again, just so that it plays all the way through. I feel so bad about that. You know, I feel so bad that I allow it to happen. Anyway. I am, let me see here, let me do this, and, okay, so I'm ready to go. So if anybody wants to call, although I doubt if anybody will call, also because we're on early now, and, whoa, I hate that bell. I wish I could stop that ringing too, you know? It would be very, very nice if that would be so, but I can't. So let me see here. Let me put. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. What is my problem here? Come on, jeez, nothing's working tonight. Huh? What? What? I can't get this to. I can't get.
Push the button that you have to push on the switcher.
What do you mean? There's no button on the switcher. I have to, there we go. Scuba diver, you should be up. You should be coming up. Oh,
That's what she told me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let me see here. Yeah, you see, you should be up there.
Well, it's. I was watching the debates.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. We can't see you. Got to stop. What
That's
is
a
this?
plus.
What is this? This is just fucked. Oh
All right.
man.
Well,
Oh
fuck
man.
around with it while you got me
Okay,
here. And
listen. I got to stop the whole program and start it over again.
okay, I'll call you back
This is not
when
working.
when you say it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Everybody, I got to kill the show and stop streaming and all that. Okay. And let me see what the problem is. Well, I won't stop. Well, I will stop. It will stop. Okay. I'm gonna start streaming. Start recording. I don't know. We may have to just. I put in this new equipment and it should be working. Okay, now let me turn on the. Oh, I know it might be a problem. No, that's working. Yeah, that's working. Okay, now if somebody will just call, we'll see if if it happens. Let's see. Oh boy, I'm not even going to put up the show tonight except the audio. This is ridiculous. This is. All right, there's Dan. Now let me see here. Do we have. No, there is something wrong here. Oh, God damn it. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Who knows what the problem is? Okay, I'm going to have to stop all this. Let me pull something out here so that this thing doesn't work. This doesn't work. Doesn't it not work? Okay, now somebody try and call me and let me see what if I can do it. Okay, let me. Okay, here we go. Um, Let me see here. Okay, somebody call me. Okay. All right, Josh Wheeler. Okay, there's Josh. And now let me put this here and let me see if this works. No, this doesn't work. Oh, God damn it. God damn it, God damn it, God damn it. Let me see here. Does this work? No. Oh. Well, that isn't the reason, okay. All right, sorry, I'm going to have to hang up on y'all. Oh, this is really ridiculous. Oh, what is wrong? I give up. Let me stop recording.